G'day everyone, welcome to Podcast Highlights Edition 3. This week we'll be looking back at a podcast we did back in May with Pete Ling from Smart Betting Club, which is a tipster verification website. Me and Pete had a really great conversation, some awesome insight into the tipster industry and some of the red flags that you can look at when following a tipster. He goes into great depth talking about the verification process that the Smart Betting Club go through. So if you are looking to follow a tipster at some point, or if you're just interested in how the tipster industry works, I highly recommend watching this one. To watch the full episode, I'll leave a link above me and you can watch the whole episode there. But like always, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the bell so you get a notification every time we post a video like this.
It is a scam when you don't allow everyone to operate on fair terms.
We are the Robin Hoods of sports betting. We take something back from the rich bookies and enable our customers to beat them instead.
If you are going to verify them, are they allowed to be affiliated with any bookmakers themselves?
Generally, we don't find that because most bookmaker affiliation is loss revenue based from the soft bookies. So I would say that's a warning sign again. Like if you find a tipster, especially on social media, and he's saying, to get my free bet, click on this Bet365 link. You have to question why, because they're only really going to pay him out a proportion of losses that customer makes. So generally, we don't get too much of that. With the exchanges and brokers, it's different because they pay out based on turnover for their affiliation. So they don't care if you win or lose; it's the amount of money you place in there. But yeah, we don't get too many. I can't think of any actually that are sticking up affiliate links with bookmakers. Because if they did, and it was a key fundamental of their service, I'd have to question why.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realise out there that obviously you have the cases where tipsters are falsifying results, but also one of the other big things is that they don't even really care about the tips they're providing you. The main thing that they're trying to get in terms of their revenue is affiliate links to bookmakers and getting people to sign up there.
But when it comes to the practicality of following a tipster, we're looking at how those odds might move within 5 minutes, within 15 minutes, within 30 minutes. Because if you're beating the closing line and no one's necessarily going to take that closing line value, they're going to try and get close to the price that you're putting forward. But yet, how long does that price stay available for, and with which bookmakers? So. It's a good metric, but it's just one of several that we undertake. Okay, so would you say it's one of the most important things for a tipster that if they're going to be winning over a long sample or a long period of time, that they need to be making value bets? Absolutely, making value bets is vitally important. I don't think you can make a profit if you're not making value calls. So yeah, it's definitely important, and it's the same. We were talking about sports here, like the markets Trademate's involved in, with horse racing, which is another popular sport we look at. There's a couple of benchmarks you can use, like SP, which is outdated really these days, and Betfair SP, which is one where you can place on Betfair's exchange and not get restricted. So that's really important. That we do a lot more with this Betfair SP these days, because again, it's like closing line in a way. If you can make a profit at Betfair SP, you're showing a fine edge on the market at its closing point. Okay, and then so you talked about looking at the closing line and if they're beating that in terms of value. What are some of the other key metrics that you're looking at to judge these tipsters? Well, we're looking into. I guess the main one is to see what their edge actually is and if it's sustainable. If we find, for example, where I referenced that tipster making 80% return on investment, it was based on a couple of lucky wins, really. And you're kind of trying to identify if there's any patterns like that, if there's steady profits, if they're using a staking plan, does it work properly? Does it add value to the service, or is the logic behind why that staking plan's being used? And then you might get into the betting bank size, because if you're following a tipster at high odds, you're going to need a bigger betting bank because of the drawdowns that you might suffer. So it's taken all of those points into consideration and seeing a consistent profit. And now these days we also do some what we call advanced tipster analytics, where we run Monte Carlo simulations. So we can build up the profile, replicate it millions and millions of times, and then see how that compares.
And they've been exceptionally useful, whether it's looking at risk or capital risk or drawdowns, and also p-values. I'm not sure if you've come across p-values, but it's effectively ascertaining if their record is based on luck or skill, and that's a really important figure. So there's lots there, and you can just, if you want to, you can skim over the service and take the headline stuff and just see what the summary says, or you can really delve into some of this advanced analytics to get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, so how do you think dodgy tipsters affect your business though? Because I can look at it in two ways and think, if you've got more and more dodgy tipsters coming out, and then you've got someone out there that's verifying the good tipsters, then it might be good for your business. But then if you've got more and more dodgy tipsters, then they're just going to not even bother using a service like yours, because they're just going to think, well, these guys are just bullshit artists, basically.
Yeah, the dodgy guys, and on social media, I think it's very pervasive across there. It's very easy to set up an account, put up a few bets, and close that account, set up a new one. It's a problem. It's been an ongoing problem, and when we first started out, we did a lot more on, like you say, the dodgy guys, the scams. But yeah, there were so many coming out, and so many problems and so many issues with these services that often were very similar. So in the end, we just did a bunch of advice on what to look out for and warning signs. And that, again, there were so many good ones, and they're the ones that people really want to can actually use. And there's actually consistent value to knowing about them, updating on them. That's the focal point of the service. But it does sadden me that, especially on social media, there's so much nonsense out there and about this, and people pretending to be good when they're not. So yeah, it's a shame.
And you mentioned before the red flag of being affiliated with bookmakers. Are there any other really just easy ways? So if I'm someone that's looking to use a tipster right now, is there a really easy way to notice that this guy is just bullshitting me?
I would read their website and see if they've got results. Do they publish their results? One red flag I often see is that they publish just the winners. They don't tell you how many losers they had. They just go, here's our winners and here's the prices of our winners.
It's incredible that they think people will believe that they've just won every single bet, and they're going to get no one go on their website and think that, oh, well, this guy's never posted a loser, so he's never lost.
Exactly, yeah, and it's just that. But obviously, you must get some customers, and obviously, sometimes they're very good sellers, they're very good copywriters, so they can convince their audience quite quickly. And I would say, have a look at the website, check on results. There should be full results transparency, and especially there should be some kind of verification of their performance. We're not the only site that does that. Like Joseph used to do it, but there are other ones out there that do verify and can be trusted. And then I would also I always recommend people just to email them, ask a bunch of questions. So if you can't find the information on their website, ask a bunch of difficult questions. Because often the answers that you get back, the depth of them and how well they answer them, and if they have actual real answers to them, are very indicative of the type of service and the quality, how they treat you as a customer. If they ignore your email, well, there's your answer. If they send you one-line replies and tell you to go away, or they're not interested in talking openly, then again, that should be warning signs. And you could always come to me and ask me questions and ask them. I love it when people email me hard questions about what we do. Like you're asking me, what do we do about affiliation, and what do we do about, because I can answer it, and I know where we stand on that, and why our stance works as it does. So definitely ask questions, check out results, and if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. That's the key thing to remember when it comes to tipster stuff.